Hey guys, it's Hilary. It is Wednesday and I'm actually early today. So sorry, but so much happening. Opening on Monday, so excited. But I had a request and I realized we hadn't hit it in the teacher space here on Wednesdays, the spine corrector. And I just kind of wanted to go through a little thing and connections with it because I know for me, when I was a new teacher, the spine corrector was not my friend. Didn't enjoy it, didn't understand it. I was like, it's like, it's like the ladder barrel. It's really challenging. So I wanted to kind of look at it in terms of helping your clients connect to two things. One is the leg springs on the Cadillac, which you think, how simple is that, right? Their legs go up and down, blah, blah, blah. But I know as a teacher for well over blah, blah, blah years, for them it's all about the legs going down and up, right? They're not really thinking about everything else that's on there, and this really gets them to understand those hips and the back staying connected. Also the opening of the front. So I want to hit that a little bit with the supine leg series kind of here. And also for those clients that can't get their hips up and over for a corkscrew and rollover and all of these things, how this is a really good place to get them that feeling and get them connected to it. And maybe someday they will be able to do that, maybe not, we don't know. But kind of go through how this little bitty thing can help in those things. So I'll try to speak as best as I can upside down. But if you look, and this one is the grots, every one of the spine correctors different makes have different kind of depths and different kind of pivot points, like when you get into swan and rocking, different wells, different, where you place your hands. So just kind of gauge for your client, understanding where they should be in terms of getting what you want. And it's just kind of playing around with it. It's kind of like the ladder barrel. You just kind of got to play around with it. So for the first set, if you think about the leg springs on the Cadillac, and let's say you took them there to kind of fix some issue that was going on in the hip, whether it was you felt like they were kind of hiking up or one leg wasn't reaching as long as the other. Maybe they're a little twisted that day. And it's not that you're going to get them perfect, because we can't do that in an hour and they go right back out and do their whole day. But we can make them more aware of kind of where they are in space. And this is a really good one to do it with. So we'll just kind of do the leg lowers and the circle. But you can do scissors and frog and beats and all that fun stuff. So I have them hold on to the handle and just kind of slide to where when they go down, their whole back is connected. And then they just slide down to where their shoulders and head connect, but as much of their back is connected as possible. And I'm going to hold on to these handles, and I'm going to pull this barrel towards me. So my arms are really engaged. And I tell them to kind of pay attention to what is on the barrel, and that's going to stay there. It's not going to get lost and kind of start to come up. So I'm pulling into the barrel, and I'm reaching my legs. And I'm going to keep my back and my hips and everything connected to that barrel. And I'm only going to lower where I don't lose that. So that's about there. Otherwise, I'm going to kind of lose the upper part of my back and then reach it back up. So just kind of lowering, but really letting them know that they're reaching those legs, and challenge it. Like start to have to go, oh wait, I need to keep that connection, and not just go, where they can go and then buck up. You see the difference? So that's kind of just getting them a feel of where am I on this, where are my hips? Then you can take it into your circles. And again, you can have them start to maybe think about rollover by bringing them a little further, but then they can kind of see and feel if their hips kind of unweight or do something weird, or one leg, if you watch that, one of my legs was a little behind the other, a little tighter. And so you can just kind of get them to understand where they go and feeling that connection with their hips on the mat. So let's take a look, and I'm just going to kind of slide out of it. Luckily I have slippery pants. in terms of your rollover, corkscrew, kind of getting your hips up, this is already going to bring them up. So they don't have to worry about it. Their hips are up. And you can build it from there. And one thing that I really want people to understand for the rollover and jackknife and all of those things where they're taking their hips up and over is that reach of the legs. And they're not just flinging the legs up and then coming down and flinging them up, that they're really reaching those legs like they did in the 100, in their roll up, all of that. It's still continuing. So the barrel, if it's possible, once you get them to that point, or if you feel like they are doing that on the mat and just kind of flinging. I had someone that her jackknife looked like it was really beautiful, but in reality, she was just powering through it. We brought her over here and it was like, oh my gosh, that's supposed to happen? And then it changed her work completely. So if you think about that kind of connection of the reach of the legs and the fact that if they can't lift their hips, well, guess what? They're already lifted, and then they can go through the movement and they can keep their back connected if they want. So they can do their rollover legs, bringing their legs back, keeping their back connected, and then reaching around, right? Pulling in. So they can keep that, and it's nice and safe. Their hips are up. They get a little feel for it. It's lovely. But let's say they do it on the mat, but you feel like it's just legs or whatever. So they bring their legs back so they're perpendicular looking, and then keep pulling into that barrel, and then take those legs and reach them behind to take that back off the barrel, open, and they're gonna roll down with control, going from that top of the back all the way down and reaching it around. So all of a sudden, instead of their legs just going like this, just kind of flinging back, they're actually, I'm gonna reverse the direction, they're actually taking their legs to reach behind to then bring their back off that barrel. So it's a totally different engagement for them instead of just kind of walking around with it. We can take it a little further, if you're with me still, because I'm just having so much fun, is the corkscrew. So you see it all the time where their hip kind of hikes up as they twist and then it hits up the other side. So with the barrel here, they will see that's one hip have to lift off and then circle around. Both hips will connect. Then the opposite hip will come off and they'll bring it back to the center. So you've got that connection of the barrel for them to feel the hip lift off the way you're asking it to, instead of them kind of, I'll move this out of the way, instead of them coming and kind of twisting and twisting around doing their corkscrew. So the barrel is a really good tool for so many things to think about the connection, or maybe the hips being where you want them to be as they move, because we can't really fix someone. You know, I'm a good example. I have just a tightness that is always on my right side. It's because of what I do. It's my whole life. It's the world outside. Pilates makes me better and more aware, and I'm able to lengthen and work it and kind of figure out where I'm in space. But if some teacher took me and said, no, I want your hips like this, I wouldn't be able to move, because it's just not going to happen. It's never going to be perfect unless we're just newborns. Maybe our pelvis and our hips are perfect. I don't know. But this just gives them a little, like, you know, can you press that hip in maybe a little more? And they'll go, oh yeah, a little more. Yeah, I can. So it's just a really good tool. One trick that I love that my friend Benjamin taught me when you're back there is, you know, and I ask my clients, they think it's hysterical, is can you say your name? So if they can say their name and it sounds like they're just sitting and talking, they're great. And if it sounds like this, then they're obviously not in a good position and their neck is all out of, you know, where you want it to be. So I think that's a good, you know, it's a good icebreaker too. Tell me your name, tell me your address, whatever. So anyway, that's a little bit of the spine corrector. Just some little things. If you have more questions on them or anything, just DM me, because it's a really good little tool to use. And then you can take them back to the mat and go through things and see how they changed for them and see what connections are. Then take them over there to the leg springs and, you know, can you feel that connection still and the reach? So Anyway, that is it. Enjoy your Wednesday, and I will be here next week, probably 10:30. If not, just DM me. I'll shoot you the time. But enjoy your day. Be safe and do your Pilates. Bye.